This is a manual. It's this very old book, and I bought it in a flea market in China. And you'll see, well, on the front it says 民国10年, so that's the 10th year of the Republic, 1921 edition that has been copied out. And it's a 1921 edition of How to Eradicate Smallpox. And smallpox, as you know, is a disease that used to be extremely dangerous in England. Lots and lots of small children. It was a bit like chickenpox or something, but much, much worse. And many, many people died of it. It's now been almost eradicated. And it's been eradicated by vaccination, which is a technique that was developed in the 18th century by William Jenner in England. And that technique came into China and was absorbed into Chinese medicine. And that's a really interesting story, because we think of Chinese medicine and Western medicine as two really separate things, but that wasn't how it was in China. So you'll see, if we look at the beginning of this book, there is a sentence that says it's 翻译. It's translated from 英吉利意义中有多元说. It's translated from 英吉利. Now, today, England, if you learn Chinese, is called 英国, but then they called it 英吉利, like English. It was an effort to translate that. Barbarian doctors planting cowpox theory. And so it gives the original preface of that theory, and that came from a young man who went to China when he was about 12 for the first time, and he learnt Chinese in the 19th century. He then went back and he was a translator for the East India Company, which was the British company trading tea in China and opium and many not so good things. But one of the things that he also did was to get this book on how to do smallpox vaccination translated into Chinese. And this is the same text which was still circulating in the 20th century. And if you look here, we have a picture of, well, there were two pictures in this book. One of them is how to hold the knife when you do the vaccination, because they did the vaccination not like we do it now with an injection, but by making a little cut. And they put some, before this time, Chinese had had inoculation where they blew a little bit of the smallpox pus into the nose of the child. And that was so you'd get a minor attack of smallpox. It was quite dangerous because you might really get smallpox and die. So what William Jenner developed in the 18th century in England was a different system where they used cowpox. And cowpox was another disease which was related that cows got. And when people got it, it wasn't nearly so serious. But if you'd had cowpox, you couldn't get smallpox. And what they did was to make a little cut in the arm and rub some of the cowpox on it. And here you see a hand holding the knife ready to make the cut. But the really interesting part of this book is here, because this is a little picture of a little boy at the age to be vaccinated. And you'll see that there are 2 points on his arms where he's going to be vaccinated. I don't know why he's holding up a fish. It probably means something. But the points at which he's vaccinated, there's no necessity to have 2 points for vaccination. That was not what British doctors did. These are the points that are also used for acupuncture. So they're the points that are circulation points in Chinese ideas of the medical system. So when vaccination was done, it was done using the points of the Chinese traditional medical understandings of the body, and using that way by the early 20th century, which is really before a lot of Western medicine is popular in China. Smallpox vaccination is happening all over the country.